we have a different stupid combo deck. Now, the goal of which is to find Tinker and Fling. Tinker one of my shitty artifacts into Phyrexian Devourer, which maybe is a card you're not familiar with. But you get to exile your deck, make it really big, and then fling it at your opponent. There's gonna be a trigger asking you to sacrifice it, but you can just respond to it and keep growing it until you reach the size of 2020. So a good design. We only have 4 impulses to ever find our combo, but shouldn't be much of a problem, right? Alternatively, we can sub Fling for Altar of Dementia and just mill the opponent out. That also works. But Tinkers, there's only 4 of those. We have Tinker, we have Fling. We have 2 Mind Stones. This is going to be a turn 4 win. If my opponent doesn't interrupt me. I'm not entirely sure why we are playing Gemstone Mine in my 2-color deck. I guess Scalding Turn doesn't exist, that's why. So we're stuck with Shivan Reef, and we just kind of want to have as many blue red sources as we can, because we run 10 colorless lands. Curious. Unfortunately, Villain leads on an island, which might be downright unbeatable. Although, I could just find my defense grid, which could go a long way. Or I could Tinker for one. Aquameba. This is perhaps a so-called madness deck. Or so I can guess. Well, actually, can you win this turn with Vayne? I don't think so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I could have. I'm just stupid. Holy shit. In that case, I'll Tinker for a defense grind. And win next turn. Kind of a wild thing to Tinker for. I guess maybe that's the intended use of the card Tinker. But yeah, with 5 mana, I could have just went for it. Who knows if my opponent is playing free counter magic? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. Who knows? Foil? Probably doesn't make too much sense. That said, this board is not so threatening. Tinker again. We get a Phyrexian Devourer. So we exile the top card. City of Brass. We exile the top card. We exile the top card. So now we have a trigger that asks me to sacrifice it. So we exile the top card. We just keep doing it. Can't wait to see this combo. Well, it's a rather simple one. Opponent suddenly holding priority. So we have a 25-25, which seems good enough. So we fling that at the opponent. And they just die. Okay. Opponent seems to be playing many islands, so he can bring Pyroblasts. and red elemental blasts to fight their cards. You could board out Tsabo's Web. We do want artifacts to sacrifice to Tinker, and Tsabo's Web is pretty good at that role. The game, if the match goes on for a bit longer, maybe City of Traitors can go as well. It's a bit bad in that scenario, and maybe we can do it like this, because Tsabo's Web cycles, at least, so it's really good sack fodder for Tinker. Although, it's nice to have Altar of Dementia in play. It's probably better than Fling against my opponent's deck. Because it's a blue deck, so committing to a Fling is kind of more devastating than committing to an Altar of Dementia. Okay, yeah, and Altar is a Tinker fodder card, while Fling is not, so... I have logically convinced myself. This hand is gonna be better if I top deck a land, but... Imagine if I drew an Ancient Tomb turn 1. Would be kind of sick. I guess Devourer in opening hand is not even that bad. You can just get to 6 mana, you don't need to Tinker for it, so there's redundancy in that sense. Now, any chance I should play Mindstone? Yeah, 6 mana of Ancient Tombs, you can just cast it. I was wondering how consistent this deck can be when there is only 4 Tinkers, but I guess you just cast a Devourer with Altar of Dementia in play. It is doable with Lotus Petals, Mindstones, and Ancient Tombs. I think I should play the Mindstone, so I will. That way I can cycle Tsabo's Web next turn to look for a land. And this land can only be used 3 times, so it's nearing the end of its existence. And here I got Giga Punish for not playing my Lotus Petal. Ay ay ay. Ay caramba. It does make sense that the opponent would play Days in their deck. Now that we have seen it. Hello Portable Head, welcome to the Canny stream, and hoping you are doing okay. Are they on Dreadnought? Game 1, my opponent played 2 Aquamoebas and a Basking Rootwalla. And 3 islands, so it would seem that they are playing a so-called Madness deck. But I couldn't tell you what is exactly in a deck like this. Is Lurma League today or Friday? Let's say Friday. Today is a Premodern League, and then a second stream in the afternoon, where I stream the Modern Challenge. If I do badly in the Modern Challenge, I will play the Lurma League instead. Perhaps. Alright, Tsabo's Web. Each land with an activated ability that isn't a mana ability doesn't untap during its controller untap step. Great art. Yeah, pre-modern before playing modern. I did that on purpose actually. I thought about that before going live and I giggled.
Phenomenal pre-modern gamer.
Would be nice to draw a land that isn't a Gemstone Mine. Arrogant Worm. Ale bestia. Serves me well for not pyroblasting the Frantic Search. Yeah, it is somewhat crazy that the only blue-red dual land that I get to play is Shivan Reef, and the next one is Gemstone Mine. Isn't that downright just incredibly hacking fucked up? Deck showing strength, game 2. We're pretty close to winning. I just need to draw an Ancient Tomb. Aquamoeba sits. Ryomark is just really hot here. I guess it serves me well for boarding out City of Traitors ×2. Hacking Traitors. Now Ancient Tomb is not even an out. City of Brass. You assume they have something like circular logic at this point. This is where my Pyroblast comes in. How about the second circular logic though? Well, no plan for that. They could also just discard a monster and then kill me with a monster. Even a Basking Brute Walla would get there. Madness is a weird mechanic because then this deck runs cards like Aquamoeba, which spend a card. So the way Aquamoeba spends the card, it doesn't produce more cards, it's just an extremely whatever effect. Which means that all it does... Okay, they have foil in their deck as well. So they just discard cards for not much, so the madness mechanic is just that the cards cost... actually have like the discount and flash. Which... it's kind of weird as a theme, perhaps. But we have to do a better job drawing lands next time, so let's put City of Traitors back in, because it is clearly necessary for my deck to function. We're going to cut 2 impulses, and we are going to submit. Not even trying to kill the Aquamoeba with the red blast. Opponent discarded a foil, so mentally I was already dejected and rejected. So, yes, I did in fact not try. Let's put back Fling. This is already a Fling. Surely they were bluffing, yeah. Surely. I summon Mindstone. Premodern Arc, indeed. Holy shit, Annul? What a crazy card. Welcome, Mr. Chimba, to the Kani stream. I summon Altar of Dementia. Now I'm a tinker away from casting a protected tinker. Or a Devourer away from casting a protected Devourer. And a defense grid away from having a defense grid in play. Hmm. 3 stream streak. That's so few. We've got Tinker, but I feel like at this point I would like to have something extra. Or wait for my opponent to tap lower. Because just hoping to resolve the Tinker here, perhaps a bit wild, isn't it? I mean, they have foil. Foil is Giga card disadvantage, so maybe it's actually fine. Circular logic, which I can pay for. Days. You know what? Let's find out. Just pass, bro, they have no pressure. Yeah, but like, what do they have? See, they don't have shit. They have no pressure and they have no counters. What if villain has Stifle? That would be sick. Maybe I should not sacrifice a Devourer? They don't act. Madness don't use to run Stifle? Alright, in that case. It's on you. I mean, we counter the Stifle, so they have to have Stifle and then foil. Realistically. I think they run a few in the board. No, no way. Sideboard Stifle for my Phyrexian Devourer's activated ability. What if they were thinking they should stifle the ability? Doing this in my opponent's turn was a mistake, because that way they have to pass me priority every time. Just gig annoying. Guess I can just... put a bunch on the stack. Well, I hope it's not gonna yield to the top-bottom ability on the stack. I don't think it will. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, the combo is that you get a Devourer in play. You can play it or you can Tinker for it, and then you sacrifice it with Altar of Dementia or Fling to either mill your opponent or kill your opponent. There's only one self-sack trigger on the stack. If it somehow got countered, it would get replaced by a new one. Alright, 64. Maybe we can get to 6-7. We exile a free drop. Okay, 6-5. 68. No. Right, 69 maybe. Yes. Alright, 69 is good. Mill you for 69 cards. Show me your Stifle, bro. Or Gaze Blessing, yeah, that would also be solid. Oh kurwa, they showed me a Stifle. Well... I counter. I was promised no Stifle by the chat. By the way. Free mana. I hope it's a circular logic. Pay 2. I hope it's not a foil. Many circular logics. Yeah, and they can only cast one. Days. I pay. Days into logic would be insane, and still not good enough, right? I have 5 mana available and they have 3 cards in their GUI. Days into Fronting Search into circular logic, that would be fucked up. I'm short. ... GG, said opponent in the chat. GG short king. Mills 46 cards. You get to look at their deck. Unsummon very good when you hold priority and put 40 triggers on the stack. I guess that's very true. Wonder is kind of a payoff. Did they have a Wonder? If they did, they probably boarded it out, so I guess not in their post-board deck. Opponent said in the chat they are a big fan. Took my Phyrexian Altar of Dementia. Let's pay 2 life and play Tsabo's Web. I'll tap my Ancient Tomb 5 more times and die. happily. Tsabo's web art is really funny. It is really silly, yeah. A really silly one. I like the Gerard laughing. I don't even know if it's Gerard, but... Oh yeah, thank you for wastelanding my land, because I couldn't afford tapping it for mana ever again anyway, so... Very kind of you. What is Tsabo meant to stop? Rishadan port? You mean like by design or in like this deck? In this deck it's mostly 2 mana artifact cycler. It's a Tinker deck. So we just want a 2 mana cycler. And it makes it so that if you tap your wasteland for mana, it doesn't untap. So I guess that's like some upside, but it's not too important. The most fun card in Premodern is Survival. Could be. Teosh! Piesek! Teo! Yeah, there is some damage it's doing, but I think it's incidental. That seems like that is the case to me. Mono black Agoro. 4 damage. Black 2/2. That's just a crazy card. Crazy good. Let's cycle the Tsabo's web again. I don't know what to look for with Impulse yet, so I will just not. I guess I could therapy my Fling. But then they lose a pressure monster, so that's fine. At the beginning of your upkeep, tap this creature unless you pay 1 life. What a gruesome artwork, chat. Duress. Opponent is absolutely brutally going after my hand. Teferi's response. Counter target spell or ability an opponent controls that targets a land you control. If a permanent's ability is countered this way, destroy that permanent. That's a zombie deck, okay. Now I take 7 next turn, so maybe that wasn't too wise to take damage here, but... Oh, draw 2 cards. Wait, so it's just a 2 mana draw 2 cards, but you can only cast it if opponent targets a land you control. Otherwise you can't. Tangle Wire lets me survive, right? I tap 3 lands and a creature. Don't know if I have outs, but it lets me survive. Maybe I should play the second Tsabo's Web. Then I can actually win in time, technically. I think. Yeah, if I draw Fling, I think I'm fine. You deal 5 damage to me, so I guess it can't be Fling because my mana is also dealing damage to me. So if I draw Phyrexian Altar, or rather Altar of Dementia, I'm capable of winning. But if you cast Cabal Therapy and hit, I die. Turn 1, Ritual, Priest of Gix, Phyrexian Negator. That's actually crazy. That would be great in today's Magic. Wow, my opponent knew to name Tinker. Kind of makes sense because I have the most Tinkers, but kind of rude still. Seems like defense grid is not very good. Pyroclasm is going to take its place. We could bring Rushing River in, I guess, in the last slot. Seems like that's the route. Opponent's deck might have the coolest card in Premodern. Kervex Spite. Kervex Spite sounds good, yeah. When mulligans to 5, love to see it. Chad, are you happy when your opponent's mulligan? Or are you sad because you think the game is gonna be worse? Because I'm happy. Sacrifice all permanents, discard your hand, target player loses 5 life. Holy guacamole. Going all in. The end justifies the means. What do I care if I rule over the dead rather than over the living? The dead ask fewer questions. No, dobrze powiedziane, Kerwek. Tinker, you say. Child, I love Ancient Tomb. Festering Goblin. Nice. Anyone festering in the chat? In life, it was a fetid, disease-ridden thing. In death, not much changed. I think this is a Modern Horizons card, actually. No, it's a Modern Masters card. Not since you got a prescription for it. You're always festering. Wicked Wrench. Or rather Wretch. Will they name Rushing River? They have seen the Rushing River. Therapy Bug. Kanister wins. Opponent doesn't want to learn what my combo does. I'll take a quick 2-minute break to feed the Dogster, and then we're going to demolish the zombie gamer. Should you spend $280 on Gundam model kits? If it's going to bring you joy and you have no immediate... Well, no, you shouldn't. Instead, spend it on paying rent and paying for food. Stuff like that. We have a sideboard card in our opening hand, which actually seems really good against opponent's deck, so keeping this. Pyroclasm. Wasteland again. Brother. Could you please stop? Let's Mindstone. Might want to play the Tangle Wire next turn. So it's better to petal out the wire. Or rather petal out the Mindstone than the Wire. Tangle what? Don't have great top decks. I wonder if I should cycle Mindstone. Probably should, end of turn. Pyroclasm, a great draw. Am I enjoying this format? Yeah. What I'm truly enjoying is spending time with you in the chat. Rather on Twitch. With you in the chat. 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess I need just a few more manas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if I draw 2 more lands, I guess I die next turn. If I draw Tinker, then it's not good enough. Is Pyroclasm my only out then? Could be. Maybe cycling the Mindstone was actually a trap. How about Therapy? My Flings are gone. So I can play the Devourer. But I have to take... Well, I guess I live, technically. Life to draw Altar or Fling. So 6 outs. 4/4. It's good enough for me. Carnophag. Okay. Let's draw Crystal Vein. Ay, ay, ay. It seems like that's it. We will mulligan this, I guess. We have Fling and the Devourer. This hand is great. This insulting that a 2-color deck is running City of Brass though. Second Fling is the worst Just ever. Nothing against your content, but Premodern looks like us to play. Frankly, you know what? It is us. The City of Brass, Gemstone Mine, mana base for in a 2-color deck because I already used Shivan Reef and that's literally the only land ever printed. That is kind of fucked up. I could play Caldera Lake. Comes into play tapped. And it also seems like the enemy color decks just have 1 land and friendly color decks have 3. Fetch, Painland, and then the filter land. And I guess if you play black, you also get the... Oh no, Selfless is shit. But there was a cycle of black producing lands from that like one set where they made more black cards than other cards. The filter lands are not common. Yes. Chromatic spheres might smooth out the mana a bit. Could be, yeah. Whoa, Teferi's Isle. Phasing, ETB tapped, so it's Giga tapped. You control a tapped land at first, and then you have an untapped one. That's phased. Temple of the False Gods, to kurwa jest? Ooh, Tronlands. We should play Tronlands in this deck. Actually, never mind, we shouldn't. I assume my opponent might have a counterspell card, so let's maybe wait till like have a defense grid. Tangle Wire, this I could cast. Taps my opponent out, and then I get to play the Devourer. Next turn, do I? Tap, 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 yeah I do. So they have to counter that. Nice. Any chance they have more counter spells in their hand? Oh wait. I feel like there is a chance they have more lands. More counters. Oh wait, one more turn. Because my next draw step is defense grid. They weren't spending their mana EOT so far. If they do, I get Giga punished. Okay, that's not really a Giga punish. But it's a bit of a punish. It does make that Tangle... It does make it so that Tangle Wire is no longer any good. It's in fact useless. Tinker for defense grind. Curious play. I mean, at this point, they can pay for the defense grind. So they have 7 spells, they skipped a land drop. So might as well wait one more turn, because maybe that's going to be the defense grind. No proof that they will be able to spend their mana EOT. Alright, here comes proof. You bet at least one of those 7 is under Decree of Justice. You would bet correctly. Do I think they have 2 counter spells? I do, yeah. In fact, I think odds are pretty high. This seems like a problem. Seems like waiting hasn't favored me. Let's bring 5 blasts and... Whoops, not the Pyroclasms. 5 blasts. And 4 rushing rivers. Then I will put back a City of Traitors. Board out Flings. Maybe. We need mana short or something. No, Pyroblast is good. CT, nie CT. Yes, CT. Then we can cut... Probably don't really want all the rushing rivers, it's just for the humility. Seems rather bad otherwise, frankly. Alright, random cuts, let's go. Maybe Tangle Wire should go get cut fully as well. Although it forces a counterspell early, which is nice. So maybe I should have all 4 in my deck. Tricky. This is a Giga Keep. I'll play Crystal Vein and pass. We want to cycle to draw land, so I'll play Tsabo's Web. Do I find Premodern fun? Mainly depends on whether I'm winning or not. When I lose, it's the worst format. When I win, it was pretty fun. Grand Coliseum. Add 1 mana of any color. Giga Painland. This is a power crept version of the Painland we have seen earlier. Which was the same, but only gave me the mana of 2 colors. Could have also gotten Devourer. Maybe they could kill my Altar of Dementia. Opponent said nice in the chat. Well, that is quite nice, indeed. I exile. I'll exile, 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 exile. I exile further. We need 50 power, chat. Heaven further beyond. No, 68. 70, but 69 counters. I guess it had 67 counters, so this was like 67, haha. Let's go, Stifle. Mills 50 cards. Puts triggered ability from Gaze Blessing onto the stack. Aha, fajnie. No fajnie masz. Meddling Mage, Mana Leak, Gaia's Blessing, Factor Fiction, Humility, Meddling Mage combo. Probably actually even works because of layers. Probably not. This is a separate ability. Meddling Mages, Factor Fiction, Decree of Justice, Impulse, Dust Ball, Standstill. Oh, so you combo Standstill with Decree? Not even many counter spells in this deck. I probably should have went for it game 1, seems like. In my head, my opponent's deck had 10,000 counter spells, but it actually just has a few mana leaks. Kind of fucked up to just sideboard Gaia's Blessings to beat my altar. What if I Fling? Well, but people traditionally board out Fling because it's bad into a counter magic deck, no? Yeah. I agree with you, Dromertia, like, it's so true. So bad. There's nothing left. Now we have to lose a combo mirror. Frinhorn Elves, okay. They should create a format with only cards after Premodern and call it Neo-Modern. Should they? Are you absolutely sure? Oh, hui, Chaos Cradle. Virtual Rangers. My Tangle Wire might be a bit slow to stop what my opponent is doing here. Multani Zakolite. I think I should play the Tangle Wire. Maybe I should play the Altar to set up. But if I draw a blue producing land, I can still play Altar plus Tinker. No, I can't because the Tangle Wire is gonna tap me out. I guess I missed that part of the equation. But it's fine, it's fine. Only one land up, that's good. Alright, we didn't draw blue. I guess I could have just spent 6 mana on the Devourer, I missed that. I should have done that. Yeah, I shouldn't have played the Tangle Wire, I should have played the Altar, and then this turn I just top 6 to play the Devourer. Somehow I just get locked into thinking I have to Tinker for it, but I can simply not. But the entire point is that they were free. I think the point is different. Kind of wild. The point is that they are free. Survival of the fittest. Oh no, they will find Crater Hoof Behemoth now. Squee, Goblin Nabob. Wait, that's the best you can do? Nantuko Vigilante. Any morph? How am I supposed to know what they found? Nantuko, destroy artifact or a summon. Mutani's Acolyte. Kind of funny that they search their deck for their... Oh, kurde. Alright, the Tangle Wire is a bit too much. In that case, they probably have a way to pump their elves. Oh, it does Chapel then. Or even Chapel. Tangle Wire. Feels like a Pyroclasm matchup. I have to tap 4 things next turn? That's actually fine. I mean, I assume my opponent is going to do something with Survival, a creature in hand, and 15 mana, but who knows? Frankly, maybe the best I can do is just draw an extra card and they will flood. It does seem like there is no Crater Hoof Behemoth equivalent. They did not summon such a card last turn. Alright, show me what you've got. Tribal Force Mage. +2/+2 and trample. That seems good enough. With a creature type of your choice, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. Pyroclasms, come in. Defense grind, go out. Rushing River fills out the deck. And we submit. The rest of my sideboard is just blasts. Does elves count as combo? Let's say they do. It's good for the narrative. Pyroclasm, Tinker, let's keep. Fulek. Za czystej dupy nie masz. Mimo tego, że tak pewnie myślisz. Llanowar Elves, classic. Guess I'll pass. Drawing another land, not really great here. Chaos Cradle, Priest of Titania, dawaj jeszcze jednego. Wow, keeping up. 8 mana. How come? Just nothing? Okay. Tapping Cradle with no monsters in play. Kanister wins. Okay. It's a bit. I mean, in 2 turns I would win.
He's a phenomenal control player.
Shuj is a Mayan language spoken by around 40,000 members of the Shuj people in Guatemala and around 3,000 members in Mexico. Shuj is a member of the Q and Jobalan branch along with the languages of Tojolabal, Q and Jobal, and Mocho which, together with the Seycholan branch, Shuj forms the western branch of the Mayan family. The Shuj language has been influenced by Spanish, and Shuj speakers have a tendency to borrow Spanish words or code mix. It is estimated that 70% of the Shuj language is purely.
Is purely what? I want to know. This is funny because chuj in Polish means dick or cock. So it's like funny for a community of 40,000 people to speak a language that's called that. It does mean that in chuj too. Yeah, that would be even funnier. That's true. We drew Shivan Reef, so next turn, hide your elves. How is the chuj language called in Polish? Probably, like, I never heard of it. Chuj language. Polski. Język chuj. Chuj San Mateo X Tatan i chuj San Sebastian Coaton. Przykłady słownictwa. Pat equals dom, X equals kobieta, winak equals mężczyzna, unin equals dziecko. It is crazy that there are so many languages that people speak. Why bother? Why wouldn't everybody just speak the same language? Sounds easier. Oh, they bounce an elf. That's OP. Now they can tap the cradle, and I guess they don't even need to. Język chuj. Everyone should just speak chuj, yeah. Chat, this deck is actually not that fun. Actually, I have made up my mind. I think I said it's fun at first, but kind of boring. But we won the match, so I guess it was fun, actually. Let's go. You could Tinker plus Fling here. Indeed. Have I seen the Tin Fins deck with Phyrexian Dread? No. No, do you have a link? Ancient Tomb into Mindstone, then become mana screwed? Sounds good. Oh no. That's mono red. Alright, we unscrewed ourselves, so we can win on turn 3. The 4, welcome raiders. Thank you for the raid, welcome chatters. Destroy target non-basic land unless its controller has lava blister, deal 6 damage to them. 6 damage you say. And then more damage from the Ancient Tomb surviving. Alright, you killed it. It's kind of fine, we're just gonna win on turn 4 that way. And it seems like we buy a bunch of time by letting that happen. Bro beat. You get to draw 3, that's fine. Oh. Any player might have Browbeat deal 5 damage to them. If no one does, target player draws 3 cards. They cast this targeting me. And then they decide to pay 5 life. After realizing what they have done. Well, that seems like it's gonna make it easier. Took me a while to realize what they even did. You need to reinstall MTGO for this. Premodern is dope. As they say, to each their own. So you definitely should if you find it fun. We will win next turn. Not casting anything here. So opponent's deck's theme is Punisher cards. So here I'll take 4 damage. Yeah, Premodern is just everything before 8th edition and before the new border has arrived. What is this? Tinker for Amulet? You're a fun guy. I'll show you a trick, chat. You might be familiar with it, you might not be familiar with it. It starts in 4th edition, sure. For some reason. After browbeating, my opponent said, yeah, fail. Yeah, new format, no lay la carta. Yeah. Which I think no lay would mean that they didn't read it, but I'm just guessing. Opponent has failed to exile to sack his fanatic to make you exile 1 extra card, that's true. Did I lay his carta? Eventually, yes. I was ready to pay 5 life, though, just assuming that it's what I should do. 6, 7. Now look at the trick. Float red. Trigger on the stack. In response. Fling. That way, I never take the damage from City of Brass. I win beforehand. Yeah. Kanister deck. I guess that's not untrue. It is a canister deck, you could say that. So, blue elemental blasts seem excellent. Pyroclasm maybe less so, but I guess I'll bring one anyways, because I want to cut defense grinds. Any deck is canister deck if canister registers it. So true. Should have 4 blue blasts for this matchup. Yeah, we could cut, we have too many red blasts, we could cut one and play, and cut one of the rivers, which is useless anyways, and then play 4 Pyroclasm and 4 blasts to swap the defense grinds at the Pyroclasms nicely. Opponent's response. Yeah. They seem to be in a funny mood. Alright, some bit. It's not yeah, it's yeah. Wow, what an insightful message, John Star. We have 5 mana in hand, so turns 4 I win. Jackal, poop. That's how this card should be truly called. You take damage whenever it takes damage. Really? Was that necessary? Price of poggers, huh? Pyroclasm would be quite alright this game, that's true. I guess we will bring the rest of them for something bad. Is Lightning Bolt in this format, or is it not legal somehow? Bolt is alpha. Yes. Oh, I live. But my city, Ancient Tomb, doesn't. So I guess I need to draw literally nothing. I die. With no outs. Oj! O kurwa, zabiłem się. Can cut impulses, no time to mess around anyways. And play mono Pyroclasms. Inca? No pain producing lands? Sounds good. I will blast my opponent's dog if they play any. Do we know if they play any? I don't know. We have not seen any bolts so far. Important that all our lands hurt under price of poggers. It's very true. Price of poggers might be a 2 mana deal free. That's a great draw. If I draw a land, I just win next turn. If not, I win on turn 4. Okay. I messed it up. No, it was a 65. Damn. Time for the trick. Yay! 3-2. Was it 2-3? I think a 3-2. I wouldn't get a chest for a 2-3, right? That would be too crazy. 3 wins, 2 losses indeed, yeah. Alright, we can fix the deck by adding a Pyroclasm and cutting a Rushing River. Now the deck is way better. I guess Island and Mountain would be too much to run, so we are stuck playing the shitty lands. Incredible deck, Chad, incredible. The Premodern experience. It's an experience. Fourth blue blast instead of one of the red ones. Dobra.